Most people blow through their severance package and regret it later. But if you play it right, it could be the key to your financial freedom. Here's exactly how to make your severance work for you instead of it disappearing into thin air. So as we know, Trump just offered millions of federal employees a buyout option. That if they take it now before February 6th, that they would receive 8 months of severance as well as insurance. But if you do take that offer, what do you do with that money? And if you don't have savings outside of that, how are you going to survive until you get another job? That's what I want to talk about today, because life doesn't have to get dim. We just have to play it smart. And you have to know what you need to do with your finances in order to be okay and thrive in any economic climate. Hi, my name is Imani, and I am the Healthy Finance Coach, and my goal is to help you financially educate yourself, gain discipline and balance so that you can thrive in any economic climate. Now, I'm going to give it to you real, and I'm going to give it to you raw. A severance is not going to last you forever. So you have to be very smart with the decisions that you make with this money, especially if you don't have any other savings. Now, if you have 401ks and other investments that your job provided for you, the smart thing to do would be to immediately roll it into some type of IRA, individualized retirement account. This may be a little more information than you can handle right now, but this is very important. So how can you make your severance pay work for you? Most people just blow through their severance. They don't have a plan. They don't know exactly what they're going to do with it. And that is detrimental, especially when you don't have savings easily accessible to you. So I want to talk about a few steps that you can take to make your severance go a long way. And it possibly could gain you some financial freedom. Now, I know it's exciting to not have to go into work. You have some money to hold on to. And in this case, it would be 8 months. Some people get 3 months. Some people get a year. Some people, depending on how many years they placed into their job, can get much more. But regardless of how much you get, you want to make sure that you're making the right decisions on what you're doing with that money. And you want to make sure that that money works for you. So the first step that I would like for you to take is to slow down and assess your financial situation. What does your current bills look like? What do you need? What are your essentials? What are the minimum requirements? We love that. What are the minimum requirements for you to maintain somewhat of the lifestyle that you had while you were working? Now, you may not be able to do all of the wonderful activities that you once did because you're on a limited budget, but you want to still be able to maintain your household and you want to be able to get your essentials. So what does that look like for you? I want for you to write that information down and calculate it so that you know how much money you're going to need to use of that severance before we can go any further. Don't rush into spending. You need to know how much you have, how long it needs to last for, and what it needs to cover. If you are between jobs, meaning if you receive your severance and you do not have a job lined up, I need you to cut unnecessary costs immediately, because what's going to end up happening is you're going to be taking away from your severance for things that you really don't need, and that money could be lasting you a little longer time to find a job, if that's your choice. Think of it this way. Treat your severance like a limited time investment opportunity instead of a paycheck. If you treat it like a paycheck, then 8 months it is. And if you don't have a job lined up after those 8 months, you're going to be in some deep ish. Try not to curse today. The next thing that I want you to do with your severance, after you've determined how much money you have to spend, how long it's going to last, and what you're going to be paying for with it, is to build yourself an emergency fund. What does that look like, Imani? If you don't already have 3 to 6 months of an emergency fund, use a portion of your severance pay and save it as a safety net. Why do you want to do that? Because this will buy you a little more time to seek out a job replacement. Because you want easy access to this money just in case, you're not going to want to place it in a regular savings account because you do want to gain some type of interest on it, or higher interest than a regular savings account. What you're going to want to do is place this emergency fund savings in a high yield savings account so you can earn a little more interest than you would earn from a regular savings account. You want to aim for a liquidity first approach. What does liquidity mean? Liquidity means you can access it easily if you need to. You don't have to wait months or weeks to access your money. But you also want to make sure that your money is growing and working for you. Step number 3, because you know I'm all about debt repair. You want to take a portion of your severance pay and pay off any high interest debt that you have, any high interest loans, any high interest credit cards that you have. This is going to help you free up some extra money that's probably going to be tacked at the end so that you don't feel so stressed. Because if you have to pay high interest credit card debt or loans, then it's taking money that you could be using either for your essentials or to be saving or investing with. So you want to get rid of that as much as you can. If you are not drowning in debt, because some people are not, then pay off a little more of your car note or your student loan. Something that is like a chunk of money that if you were to pay a few months of it, if your money starts to dwindle down a little bit, you won't have that stress of how am I going to pay my car note or how am I going to pay my student loans. So try to pay like maybe 3 to 6 months of your car note or your student loans, or something that has like a high payment so that it can relieve some of the stress for you and you don't have to worry about that. Step 4. Now this is the part that could actually get you to financial freedom if you play it right. And that's to invest and grow that money that you received as severance. Instead of just spending your money, let it work for you. So what does that look like? That means that if your severance included a 401k payout, and I mentioned this earlier, roll it over into an IRA. There's some great ones out there. If you don't need to touch it, don't touch it. Let it continue to grow until you truly do retire. Invest in an index fund. Even a small lump sum payment into an index fund can grow significantly over time. And of course, diversify. Give yourself a healthy mix of investments like stocks, ETFs, mutual funds. Let your money spread out. Don't put all of your eggs into one basket. Let it grow for you. So if you're new to investing, start small, but start now. Don't wait, because even with that 8 months between the amount of money you get and when it's supposed to last, your money could be growing for you, and you never know. The stock market and whatever you place your money in, whatever investment, could take off and you can easily become a millionaire depending on what you invest in. So always speak to someone who has certification in this area. And always remember, time in the market beats timing the market. So most people have grown their wealth over time by not touching it and just letting the market do what it do. This might be my favorite because I love balance. But step number 5 is to use your severance to buy back some of your time, to do some of the things that you've always wanted to do, but you were too busy at work doing. Instead of rushing back to a soul-sucking job, ask yourself these questions. Can I use some of this money to start a business? Can I go back to school and educate myself with some of this money to gain more skills and knowledge to either enhance my career when I do go back to work or to start a business? You can always add to your severance by creating skills to do some consulting work or online services. And of course, those things will create new income for you, so you won't feel stretched by only using just your severance. Your severance can be your launch pad into something new. I always believe that we should be investing in ourselves anyway. So take some of that money and invest in courses, education, or into something that you believe in that can make you money. So let's recap. Your severance can either be something that you use as a paycheck, which I do not recommend, or you can set up your severance to work for you. You can pay off some high interest debt. You can build the emergency fund that you never built. You can invest that money and let your money work for you with passive income. You can invest in yourself, in education, in courses, and new skills, so that when you do go back to work, you have a better chance of securing a higher paying job. Or you can actually start a business, whether it's side business or your main business. But these are the things that can create financial freedom for you. If you received a severance, what do you plan to do? I would love to see in the comments below what you plan to do with your severance. Are you going to let your severance make money for you, or are you going to use your severance as a paycheck and have to go back to a soul-sucking job after it's done and gone? I know that's horrible, but it's reality, and I'm about being real and raw. So until the next time, I hope everything works out for you. If you're watching this and you are on a severance, let's make some smart choices. This is what I mean: discipline, balance, education. And if there's something that you would like for me to go over, leave that in the comments also. I will create a video for you and may even give you a shout out. So thank you so much for watching, and until the next time, take care.